I have just doubled my World Series of Trading account, going from $10,000 to $20,000 in one day from one trade here on the altcoin Silly against USDT Tether. As you can see, this trade now in $10,500 of profit after locking in the first take profit yesterday. Rest of the trade running now to double the trading account, putting this account now in second place on the World Series of Trading, with the other account that I grew only 2 days ago at 90%. I am now in fifth and second on our team, crushing these charts. And this is a trade that I shared ahead of time for everybody. Specifically in the Champions membership, I gave this trade out ahead of time. But also, if you had those eagle eyes, you would have seen I gave a little bit of a hint over here on Twitter too. And you would have been able to see my limit orders where they are set. Those limit orders filled 2 days later to give me the trade entry as I got filled yesterday. And today I end, well, that trade now going from $10,000 to $20,000 in a day. That is how you double accounts. And you can see that is not luck. I have now got 2 accounts in the World Series of Trading, and both of my accounts are within the top 10. This one, 90% gain. This one, 106% gain. And in front of your eyes is that trade that got me these profits. I want to talk you through this and what we're looking for next. So to start off with here, what was the reason behind this trade? It was actually very simple indeed. We had a nice monthly level of resistance. So this level here was our monthly. And from that, it was simple, monthly on the value area high. I made my decision. I am going to be looking for my short trade, or I actually had the limit orders preset ready and waiting for this. I knew the invalidation could be getting above the value area high. I actually got filled while asleep on this trade, okay, because the move up was at 4 a.m. By the time I woke up, I was already in profit. So it was a very easygoing trade. And then it was just a case of locking in my first take profit, which was at the point of control on the range on the anchored VWAP, and then letting it run as there was no strength. You can see here on the lower term timeframes. Let's do it here. You can see here on the lower term timeframes, just continuous lower lows with lower highs over here. That's a lower high. That's another lower high. Internal ABC, but overall impulse correction coming down for our next impulse. So a lovely Elliott wave correction. So locking in that take profit one at the lows, and then from there a simple case of remaining patient for price to come down like I was expecting. You might think that this is lucky. You might think this is not what we teach, okay, using relatively high leverage. This is only a 5 times leverage trade, but I want to show you once again that this is not just one account I've done this on, but I have 2 accounts here, and both of my accounts that I've traded on are in the top 10, both of them basically doubling account values. So you can see there is methods that I'm using with the technical analysis to plan these trades, okay, plan the trades. You know, everything was talked through to the champions, what we were looking for. Okay, we also, yes, of course, we also had the anchored VWAP. How could I nearly forget about that on this stream? We also had the anchored VWAP from the all-time high. Let me show you this as well. So that's the all-time high anchored VWAP. Look how perfectly that came in as the confluence. Value area high, anchored VWAP from the all-time high, monthly level of resistance, 100% gains as I double the account to get $20,000 on not just one account, but in 2 accounts in just less than a week on these trades of this competition running again. World Series of Trading, the biggest competition in the world, and I'm crushing it on both the accounts that I have in it right now. So yeah, there's no luck behind this. It is skill. It is waiting for the best trades, high probability setups in very volatile environments. This coin actually has currently flowing through it over 20 million. A few days ago, we were seeing 100 million. So it's a high volume alt that's being flowed through right now and traded. And, you know, that's just the theory that we're going for here. Again, in the live stream that I done yesterday, I gave another update on this to the champions. Really simply, as we were trading here, I said, well, I'm looking for this to be the range. That's the fake out of the range high. I want to see it come down to range low. That was the exact words and the exact setup as I was continuing to show the champions after already giving them the setup, right? Already gave them in this live stream back on Saturday exactly where I'm going for those limit orders. They did not change. The next day we got filled. The next day we ended in a lovely bit of profit. So just a few days there to absolutely smash this account game. And, you know, this is what we're doing right now. It is the World Series of Trading. I am sharing more, first of all, doing more live streams, second of all, giving very precise setups, exactly what I'm looking for, limit orders shown on stream, and then, the following day seeing hundreds of % gain in profits, right? So very calculated, very thought through, and, just really wanted to bring you this video to show you the power of technical analysis, the power of doing this publicly, right? I made this tweet yesterday, so this is another very important tweet for me to reference here, where I'm saying, do not trust anybody unless they can prove their results, unless they can verify, which you have seen me do with my accounts. Let's say are participating in public trading competitions and, of course, having a good win rate with that. If they cannot do that, do not trust. I'm very happy to do this now on a second account just to, once again, show you what is real here, show you what we do here is just every day of the week, fun and games for us at Chart Champions. In terms of Bitcoin, I'll give you a quick update to end on Bitcoin. For Silly, yeah, for me, this is a range-bound asset right now. We had the old high here, which ended up flipping to support that move to tap into that monthly value area high anchored VWAP zone. So now we simply have got this range going on, okay? At range low, we'll either lose range low and a much bigger drop, or we'll actually find support at range low and we'll get another rotation to continue the range. Pretty simple stuff there for me on Silly. Bitcoin also very simple as well, to be honest with you. If I just hide these higher term time frame levels temporarily, I made also, if you're not following on Twitter, you really need to, or however you want to call it, X, right? Because back a few days ago, I put this post over on Twitter, no bearish reaction at the naked point of control. I remain bullish on Bitcoin, looking for higher next. That was back on the 11th, so 4 days ago. Bias has not changed since then, right? Looking for Bitcoin, I wanted to see it head towards 65,700. That's where we had our first zone of resistance, and what we actually ended here with a swing failure pattern. Very, very simple stuff. You can see here, clear as day, swing failure pattern. That's on the daily chart. 4-hour chart, swing failure pattern. 15-minute chart, swing failure pattern. 1-minute chart, my friends, swing failure pattern. This is a bread and butter setup for Chart Champions. If you've ever watched our videos, this is a trade that you're taking every day of the week, wick to the upside. As soon as you've seen that wick to the upside close back down below, you have your entry. You have your invalidation stop loss, which is above the wick of a swing failure pattern. And if we just make this ever so slightly bigger so you can actually see what's going on here, you had that entry, you have your invalidation, and again, you have your target, which could be the low of the range here. Again, another potential range going on. And then what you can do is lock in your take profit one off of here and trail the rest down. Of course, if you get stopped out of this trade, let's say price does end up pumping here, well, you've already locked in your take profit one, your secured profits, whatever happens next. Okay, my personal bias on Bitcoin is that we can head higher here. I do favor upside, but I know that is 100% you should be taking the short of the swing failure pattern. You're then put in a position now where if we pull back heavily, you've secured one of the easiest short trades in the world, being a swing failure pattern. I think that is a very easy trade. And you win whatever happens next. If you do pump, you get stopped out with profits because you've locked in your take profit one at the range low. If it does dump, you've secured yourself a very nice trade indeed. So I hope that you've enjoyed this quick update. I just wanted to come in here, give you a quick update on Bitcoin, show you the profits that can be made here when you're trading alongside me with the champions. There's no one here that can say that this is not realistic, not achievable. I've done it on several accounts now, publicly, ahead of time. The calls have been given. All the trades that I've taken have been shared with the champion members ahead of time. They too could have took the same trades as me. So yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed. I hope if this is something you want to see more of, let me know. I'll continue to trade these accounts. I'll continue to absolutely smash it. I hope that you've enjoyed. Thank you ever so much. And I will move on to another account now to try and do the same with another 100% gain. Cheers, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed. And we are absolutely loving this right now. Cheers, everybody. Thank you. That's me signing out. Goodbye.